Your child's crying, they're screaming, they're not listening to you. It's easy to label this as bad behavior, defiancy, manipulation. But in this video, I'm going to explain to you why these behaviors are actually rooted in an unmet need and an overstimulated nervous system. It's not just bad behaviors. I'm Lisa, a child behavior expert and a parent coach. I have over a decade of experience as a pediatric occupational therapist. I help parents feel empowered using science-backed research and evidence to give you the support and confidence you need to raise a resilient and confident child. So I know how embarrassing it can be if your child is melting down in public because they didn't get something they want. They're causing a scene, they're screaming, they're running away from you, and you just don't know what to do. What do you do to get them to stop? You feel the judgment, all the eyes on you. People are thinking in their heads, this parent can't control their own kid. Even at home, it doesn't get easier. Your child blows up over the smallest things. And you've tried all the things. You've tried asking nicely, using a firm voice, using punishments, threats, bribes, timeouts, but nothing seems to work. And maybe you've even thought about using those old school methods, taking out the belt. Maybe that's just going to fear your child into compliance, but you know deep down that's not the path you want to take. But these meltdowns, they don't just come and go. They have taken over your home. And it feels like everyone in your house is walking on eggshells around your child's emotions. And it's causing everyone so much stress and heartache. It's causing you to avoid going out in public, to go to family, friend gatherings, and you just can't do anything. You can't even go to the grocery store because you're afraid of a public meltdown. I know how exhausting this is and how isolating it can be when you feel like you can't do anything because of your child's behaviors. But here's the thing. If your child is experiencing constant meltdowns and behaviors that you feel like you can't even get out of your house because of them, you need to start taking action. You can't keep brushing this off, hoping that your child's just gonna outgrow it or there's just gonna be a magic fix for this. Because what I've seen kids who didn't know how to manage their emotions, who were engaging in behaviors that were disproportionate, that were inappropriate, and these kids never learned the tools or strategies they needed to manage when they became young adults. Because of this, I've seen kids who really struggle in school. They struggle with their relationships. And unfortunately, they struggled with their mental health because they didn't know how to regulate themselves, how to control those impulses and those emotions that come up whenever they feel frustrated. And it caused them to lash out to other people, causing them to have friction within relationships, both friendships, romantic relationships, and it affected them in their own self-esteem, their confidence about themselves, because they felt like nobody liked me. I can't seem to get along with anyone. This is affecting my ability to focus and do well in school or hold down a job. And so I know you're here because you're looking for solutions on how do I start supporting my child in helping them regulate their emotions and reduce these behaviors that I'm seeing. But like I said, these bad behaviors are not just manipulation or defiancy. It's rooted in an unmet need and also an overstimulated nervous system. So when we get into the heart of what is causing the meltdowns, you will quickly understand the things that are triggering your child to melt down and to behave badly. It's actually rooted in something fundamental within them. So there are three areas, three needs that we as humans all need to have fulfilled. And when we don't address those, it can create an overstimulated nervous system. So we have our physical needs, our emotional needs, and our sensorial needs. When these three needs are not being met, it creates discomfort, it creates a lot of dysregulation, and it actually activates the nervous system to go into fight, flight, flee, or fawn response. So I'm going to get into what exactly those are. So when our nervous systems fire because we feel like something is under threat, we might fight. This is where you might see aggressive behaviors like punching, yelling, screaming, because your child is trying to fight to protect themselves. Or they might have a flight response where they are trying to flee. So whenever there is a threat or it feels like something's uncomfortable or frustrating, they run away. They start running, eloping, they start hiding themselves. The freeze response is when your child can't even do anything. When they're just so overwhelmed, it's like they just shut down right in front of you. No amount of prompting, you're trying to talk to them, trying to tell them to do something, and they're just like not doing anything, right? That is the freeze response. Now, the fourth response is a fawn response. This is less typical if you're seeing your child is engaging in bad behavior or meltdowns. This is when your child is really just saying yes. Even if they're feeling overstimulated, they're just agreeable, they have a very people-pleasing tendency, that would be a fawn response. But like I said, it's not very typical if your child is showing a lot of behaviors that are inappropriate. So going back to the three very important needs that need to be fulfilled: physical, emotional, and sensorial. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about physical and emotional needs that need to be met. There is the third that I mentioned, sensorial needs, but I won't be covering it in this video. But if it is something you want to know, please let me know in the comment section and just say sensorial needs and I will create another video about that. So your child has physical and emotional needs that need to be met. If it's gone unmet, this is what triggers a lot of the meltdowns that we see, right? So I'm going to give you a little method that's going to help you to remember 4 of these needs. And this method is called HALT, H-A-L-T, and each stand for a different physical or emotional need. H stands for hunger. If we have a child who is hungry, they do not have enough sugar, their sugar levels are low. This is going to put them in a state of irritability and send them into states of dysregulation or a meltdown much more easily. Because remember, a hungry body is a stressed body. And when it's not fed, it's not given nutritious food, it's going to have a nervous system response. So what can you do to ensure your child is properly fed, not in a state of hunger, is making sure that they're getting consistent snacks that are nutritious, that are nutrient dense. So a lot of the meltdowns start in the morning. Your child needs to have a nutritious breakfast to help fuel their body so that they feel good, so that they feel energized to go to school. So if you're seeing a lot of meltdowns and bad behavior at school, we need to make sure that they're given proper food in the morning. Also ensuring after school, because after a full day of school, they've spent all of their cognitive energy. They spent so much energy interacting with other kids, trying to be, keeping up with the schoolwork. It's important that right after school, they have another nutritious snack. And if you're finding that it's already happening, the meltdowns start the moment they get into the car, having nutritious snacks packed in a bag or behind the seat in front of them so that they can grab the snack for themselves. Being proactive can help reduce the hunger and can thus reduce the meltdown cycle that you're in. A is for anger. So your child might be harboring feelings of anger or frustration that have not been fully processed. So they might be feeling things like unfairness. They might feel that they're being judged for something that's causing that anger. So helping your child to process that anger by not dismissing those feelings. When you see that they're frustrated, you can see that they're upset over something. Don't say things like, oh, it's okay, it's not a big deal. That's not addressing the anger. That's not helping them to process that emotion that they're feeling. So an emotional need is not being met there. So what you can do is start learning to create times to reflect with them, with those emotions. So if you're noticing that they're getting upset and frustrated, don't dismiss those feelings. But if they're in the moment and they can't talk about it, let them cool down first, then come back to it. Use times where you can reflect with them. You can sit down together and talk about, hey, I noticed that, you weren't able to get screen time and you felt really frustrated about it. Do you want to talk about it? Opening the door for conversation can help build and fulfill the emotional need that your child is seeking for. L is for lonely. Your child might be feeling like there's a disconnection. No one seems to understand me. I don't feel seen in my home or even at school. Everyone seems to misunderstand me, and it's just like me against them. And this is creating a lot of isolation for your child. This type of feeling and emotion can send kids into states of dysregulation and into that nervous system fight or flight response. And this is why a lot of kids, they start to act out. They start to do things that really aggravate the people around them. Why? Because they're seeking for that attention. They're seeking for the connection. And the only way they know how to get it is if they act out, if they start acting defiant, running away, not listening to you, because that's when they get a reaction and everyone puts everything down to focus in on them. But that's not good attention. We want to start creating a healthy relationship to attention. So if your child is seeking for attention, the way to get it is not through acting out, through misbehavior. It's through actual one-on-one time together where you can actually talk. So what you can do as a parent is start setting time every day where you set time to connect with your child. This might look like spending 10 or 15 minutes during bedtime laying with them, asking them questions like, what was something that made you feel proud of today? Was there anything that made you feel really frustrated or angry? Do you want to talk about it? Opening these doors for conversation can help build that emotional connection that your child is seeking for, which right now they don't have that, and that's why they're acting out. Finally, T for tiredness. If your child is feeling tired, they don't have the mental capacity to regulate themselves. So little things can trigger them. So if you're getting to a point where your child is really tired, they just came home after school, you're asking them to do X, Y, and Z, go get your homework out, and this is overstimulating an already tired nervous system, this is just going to send them into a nervous system response and into a state of dysregulation. So ensuring your child is getting the proper rest. Are they sleeping at a decent time at night? Are they getting good quality sleep? Are they actually having deep, restful REM sleep? Those are things to consider. Ensuring that your child is resting when they come home after school. If you know that they have struggles at school, right? The academic work is hard for them, or socializing is hard for them. They are going to be coming home way more exhausted, that they're going to need some time to recuperate. So letting them relax, getting them to rest, that is going to help them to really rebalance and regulate themselves so that once they've gotten that rest period, then you can slowly start to add in certain demands, asking them to help with certain things around the house, asking them to get their homework out and sit at the table. So addressing these 4 key needs, this is what's going to help you to reduce the bad behavior and the meltdowns that you're seeing. So these 4 steps are absolutely crucial for reducing meltdowns. But if you want to know how to actually practically implement these strategies and start to build your child's emotional regulation skills, I have a step-by-step course that is going to teach you exactly what to do. In my course, I walk you through 5 of the key foundational pillars to emotional regulation. When you start addressing these 5 pillars, you are going to see an improvement in your child's behaviors and a reduction in their meltdowns. Why? Because we get to the root of your child's problems. These are not quick fixes. These are not little things you're just going to implement and you're going to just see a sudden change, because obviously that is not realistic. The reason why your child is in these meltdowns is because of that unmet need. And also, there are other factors as well that I mention in way more depth in my course. So if you're ready to finally understand the root cause of your child's outburst, you want to know the effective strategies that you need to start implementing today, and you're ready to stop these power struggles, you can find all the information to my course in the description box below. And for this Mother's Day, I'm going to be offering my course at a 40% off discount, so you do not want to miss out on this offer. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.